The following program is made possible through a grant from GTE, Communications Advisor to Olympic Festival 87.
Raleigh's Carter Finley Stadium on July 17, 1987, North Carolinians will meet America's premier athletes. For 11 days, we will make history as we host one of the largest national sporting events in the world. Remember the 1984 Olympics? America's best athletes: Evelyn Ashford, Greg Louganis, Edwin Moses, Michael Jordan. The 183 medals won by American athletes that year. America's love affair with the Olympics was at an all-time high.
I remember never having felt so inspired. Hello, I'm Jim Lampley. I covered the Olympic Winter Games at Sarajevo, Yugoslavia, and the Summer Games in Los Angeles in 1984 as a broadcaster for ABC Sports. And to witness those special moments of drama which can only occur at Olympic Games is an unforgettable experience.
The pageantry, the excitement, the U.S. Olympic Festival in 1987 is coming to our state.
I was born and raised in my family's hometown of Hendersonville, North Carolina, and for several years went to school here at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. And that's why it's exciting to know that an event which brings together the best American athletes, many of them the best in the world in their events, will be taking place right here in our backyard. Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and Greensboro have been chosen to host the 8th United States Olympic Festival in 1987. Formerly called the National Sports Festival, this is an official event of the U.S. Olympic Committee.
Some of the finest athletic facilities in the USA are located here in the Research Triangle area. We also believe that the athletes will benefit enormously from the kind of enthusiasm that is demonstrated by the people of the area for amateur sports.
For many of America's best athletes, the U.S. Olympic Festival will be an important stepping stone toward the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, South Korea, and Calgary, Canada. Our games will test the performance of a large number of athletes who have already been to past Olympics, as well as many more who will be going for the first time in '88.
The torch has been lighted. The
1986 Olympic Festival in Houston, Texas was a tremendous success right from the opening ceremonies. Hosting an event like this is a challenge, but it's one we gladly accept.
Of course, track and field is the sport with the highest profile and has produced some of the greatest memories in previous Olympic festivals. The world records in both the men's and women's 100-meter dashes were broken within 10 minutes of each other in Colorado Springs in 1983. But there are so many other sports whose drama and excitement are seldom, if ever, seen on television.
There will be more than 300 separate contests in 34 events. Everything from archery to yachting, including competition for the disabled. If you like sports, you will love this Olympic Festival.
The pressure is on, and the stars rise to the occasion, and Greg Louganis is the star.
The Olympic Festival is very important for the minor sports because it gives them the opportunity to be visible. Because usually you only hear about diving or synchronized swimming once every 4 years, the Olympic year. And we need the exposure. We need to get people involved in diving, in synchronized swimming, and have that as an option as a sport to pursue.
It was a very good experience for me, and it's the atmosphere in the whole competition. You know, seeing the other athletes and the other sports, and making friends with the athletes that you're going through the same thing. We understand the training and the sacrifices and all. And it was just a very, very good thing for me. I kind of remember now, back then, the same atmosphere as it was at the Olympic Village.
We went to the Olympic Festival in Baton Rouge in '85, and it was an exciting experience to meet all the other athletes from all the summer sports that we don't usually get to see was really, really great.
It's more like Olympic-type atmosphere to it. We went in as favorites, and that was one of the nice things about the the Olympic Festival.
Welcome that we got was just tremendous. We got a lot of recognition and encouragement.
It's hard to find Betty Springs at home in Raleigh these days. She's often on the road training or competing in the 40 or more races she runs every year. Betty is one of the best women distance runners in the country and North Carolina's premier world-class athlete.
You know, I've been very fortunate to be able to be running as many years as I have.
With a sports festival in the Durham, again, Raleigh area, I know she's looking forward to competing in 1987.
And I just think it'd be nice to run in this area, of course. And I think the spectators just will help me through the race.
Okay.
Our problem is not going to be so much the problem of dealing with the facilities as it is getting that volunteer group to be able to implement what our plans are.
You people are the crux of the whole festival. If we don't have an organized and energetic volunteer force, it just won't work.
U.S. Olympic Festival.
So we're looking at as many as 6,000 to 7,000 volunteers.
I could also tell you more specifically about volunteers working on the festival.
Our basic areas are athletic events, marketing.
We can send a form to you that you will fill out with contact information and tell us a little bit about the general kinds of things that you'd like to do.
In order to put together probably the finest arts festival that North Carolina has ever seen.
I think it's the best thing that's ever happened, really.
What do you think it's going to be like?
It's going to be a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun.
This is a huge event, and it is one that is tremendous in nature, but it also has tremendous possibilities for showing what North Carolina can do.
This event is so big, one city just couldn't contain it all. Here's a brief overview of just a few of the 34 sports and their locations. The ice events will be in Greensboro at the Coliseum, at Duke University in Durham, track and field, and at North Carolina Central University, wrestling and synchronized swimming. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill will host basketball and volleyball, and the Raleigh Civic Center will have boxing and rhythmic gymnastics.
What we want people to understand is that this U.S. Olympic Festival is far more than just a sporting event. It's an arts festival featuring all types of performing and visual arts. It's a sports medicine conference, and it's a time to get caught up in the Olympic spirit of celebration and emotion. But the greatest celebration of all has to be opening ceremonies. Just wait until you see opening ceremonies.
Before the Olympic flame arrives here to begin that spectacular opening ceremony, it will travel the entire length of this state. The Olympic torch, being run by North Carolinians from Manteo to Murphy, will endow all of us with the true Olympic spirit and the mood of celebration which belonged to Sarajevo and to Los Angeles in 1984 will belong to North Carolina in 1987.
It's going to take a lot of work, but quitting isn't North Carolina's style. In July 1987, the nation's eyes will gaze upon North Carolina, and from our spectacular opening ceremonies to the last athlete's farewell, America will learn that between Manteo and Murphy lie a people with hearts and minds of gold.